One thing we could say about Sony's Jim Ryan is he sticks to what he says over and over again, meaning he doesn't change what he thinks. And maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, but he does kind of stick it to Microsoft yet again with this bit of information, and I just find it to be very interesting, and it's a very interesting topic just because, for the fact that for me personally, I do feel like, Sony and Microsoft are two different companies that do two different things when it comes to being able to go out there and kind of make these different announcements and things like that. And I feel like they can do things differently because they have different goals in mind. And I think neither one are wrong or right. I think they're just, what they are, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to really explain past that, but yeah, I thought this was interesting because we did get to see Jim Ryan kind of take a few shots at Microsoft, and I thought it was worth doing a video over, and I'm sure that some of you will agree, and maybe some of you won't. It kind of is what it is, but I did want to kind of get into it anyway, just for the simple fact that I thought it was a topic worthwhile covering. So I do want to get into it. Let's go. It looks like Jim Ryan is talking about Game Pass yet again. Considering, he doesn't like Game Pass, he sure does talk about it a lot. But I guess that's going to happen sometimes because fans tend to like Game Pass. And so if fans like Game Pass, then you know what? I guess that's all that matters. That's all that matters to me at the end of the day. So many people use Game Pass, and Microsoft is in such a different position than, everybody. It's going to be one of the things that kind of looked at in a way that I find to be a little bit bemusing. So it seems like people can't really get away from Xbox Game Pass when talking about the new PlayStation Plus revamp. In a recent Q&A, PlayStation's Jim Ryan once again asked about the comparison to Xbox's service and whether launch and first-party games there is something that the company has actually looked at. And during the briefing, Ryan actually dismissed Day 1 PlayStation launches yet again, pointing at quality of PlayStation's exclusive lineup. And here's what he had to say. We are in a virtuous cycle where success has allowed investment, which has generated more success, which is allowing us to invest more and will hopefully generate more success. The virtuous cycle, we feel that if we were to move to a different model, which involved putting our AAA games into a subscription service on day one, we feel that there is a significant risk that the virtuous cycle that we've established so successfully would be compromised and potentially broken. We definitely feel that it is not in the best interest of the PlayStation gamer. That is our view on that particular issue. Now, listen, I don't want to make it sound like I'm hating on Jim Ryan or anything like that, because he is saying something. Is it something that he actually believes, or is it something that he wants to believe? I think that's probably a little bit different story, and we could probably take our own interpretations to it. Like, I'm 100% sure that Jim Ryan wants people to think this way, right? So how do you scare your fan base, right? You have a fan base that's willing to pay $70 or more for your first-party games, and you tend to sell a lot of them. You would lose money right away trying to convert and do what Microsoft is doing. Like, there would be amount of time involved in that where they would probably lose money. Sony is making an all-time amount of money, the most money they've ever made as a company through PlayStation right now. So why would they want to give that up to do something that's going to lose them money in the short term before they would actually start seeing some increase in the revenue and things like that? So again, how do you get people to kind of line up with your views when you're a corporation like this? Well, you scare people, and that's exactly what they're doing. So they're going out of their way to kind of scare people and get people to say, oh, well, if we do what Microsoft does, we're going to have to lower the quality of our games, which is asinine. Right? It is. It's not really a smart thing to say. I mean, I get that, it's going to be one of the things that people are going to use as a talking point. But at the same time, I mean, it's like, listen, that's what you want your fans to think. That's fine. You want to keep suckering them into thinking that you can only do, $70 games a pop, then that's fine. But he continually leaves the door open because the wind can blow that way, and right now it's probably easier for PlayStation fans to kind of deal with, for the main principle that right now Microsoft isn't really coming out with stuff. I think that it's something that really kind of comes into play here. So like I said, if you actually think about it, it's probably much easier for PlayStation fans to swallow. Now, let's say next year Microsoft comes out with 6 or 7 big bangers. And you know what? I think that this is one of the things that honestly could start to see a little bit of turn there, where you can start to see PlayStation fans sort of request this type of thing, right? So, you know, they're paying $70 a piece. Let's just say Sony comes out with 3 big games that are $70 a piece. You know, that's over the price of Game Pass for a year for just those 3 games. Meanwhile, let's just, and this is just hypothetical, mind you, Microsoft could have Starfield, Redfall, Avowed, Hellblade 2, Contraband, and let's just say another game. So 6 games that would normally be $60 a piece, right? And, you know, PlayStation fans start to see that and maybe get a little bit jealous of that. Then they start questioning Sony, and then Sony would have no choice but to respond. And would the quality suffer from that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know, I think that it's one of the things that kind of people have to look at and go, well, you know what? Listen, these companies are different, but people are going more into this whole subscription category. Yes, Sony's playing on your fears, and you know, some of the media and some of these podcasters are playing on your fears. Oh, well, it's going to change this. You know, you're not going to be able to buy. They're going to always want you to buy some games too, right? Like I get the argument, and I was part of that argument years ago. But as someone who uses Game Pass, but also buys a large amount of games, I don't understand it. It's a compliment to that, right? Like, listen, I'm watching Stranger Things, season 4. Okay. I'm not going to buy that. I pay for a subscription to Netflix. You know, I'm watching Obi-Wan Kenobi placed on, you know, Sony, or excuse me, on Disney Plus. I'm not going to buy that because I'm paying to stream it, right? If I ever really wanted to collect it or something like that. But you know, as we move along and we get like more and more into the future, we're buying less and less of those physical type of media. You know, you can still go out there and buy that, but I still think that it makes sense, in my humble opinion, to, you know, just why would you buy something that you're already paying for to stream? You know, and to say that the quality would get dipped down, I think the Kenobi quality is high. I also think Stranger Things Season 4 quality is high, and that show is like 30 million an episode. Think about that for a second. Stranger Things Season 4, 30 million per episode. You know, that's more than some movies get, and some Marvel movies are only 100 million, you know, for the whole movie. So by the time they get through the whole thing, they've spent more than Marvel does for one of their movies. I would say that that speaks of quality. Now, Jim Ryan will continue to play on your fears, and he'll continue to do that as time goes along. And it's really up to us as individuals to decide what we want. If we demand something, they'll have to eventually cave and do that, right? Otherwise, you know, we're going to be stuck just paying and paying and paying and paying. It's up to you. Sony could definitely afford it. Don't let them fool you. But if you do enjoy something a certain way and you like it to stay that certain way, I mean, change can be good, change can be bad. I personally hate change sometimes, but I think that overall, what Microsoft has done is allowed them to actually be able to focus more on all types of games instead of one particular type. Let me know what you guys think. If you watched my video, please like it. It helps the video to be seen and the channel to grow. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up. Thanks for watching. Crap Gamer out.